welcome back to American Truck Simulator. It feels like a very long time since we were here. I'm kind of hoping that things have remembered the setup. I don't have... I should see if I could fire up actually Sim Dashboard. I am not very organised this morning. It's we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Give me a moment, viewers. We have a very cool load on the back. We have a wheel loader, which is kind of a nice crossover with the old farming simulator stuff, which I kind of like. It's kind of why we took this load. Let's get Sim Dashboard fired up on the mobile phone. And let's see if it has connected, shall we? Let's see if it works in cab. Doesn't seem to want to. Is my phone connected to Wi-Fi? My phone's connected to Wi-Fi. My other mobile might be connected. Anyway, let's just get on with it, shall we? We can wing it. So we are headed to Lakeview. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Let's have a little look, shall we? So we're in Boise. We're headed towards the coast. I am guessing that in real life, this is a very nice drive. So I'm kind of looking forward to this one. Much further south, I've done a similar drive. Much further south, and it was really pretty. We'll chat about that as we get rocking and rolling. So, yeah, let's get the old sat nav up. And am I happy with my field of view and things? I think so. Let's stop gas bagging, throw her in gear, and ain't nothing to it but to do it. So where are we headed? We're headed that way. Okay, I was about to swing to the left. It would have been very embarrassing, wouldn't it? Like in the 99 MPG. Not sure I believe that. There we go. Yeah, I believe 1 MPG. Right, not got headphones on today. So no idea if the Kenworth sounds good. But I do like the view of where we're heading out of. Yeah, do like the view. So one of the reasons that I decided to start in a different location when I was setting up this save is I've not been to this part of the States, but I kind of figured from watching some content creators that are based up in this part of the world and watching like TV programs that are up in this part of the world, it would be quite nice. So, and it turns out I was right. So yeah, and I do like when I go to America, which hasn't been for a very long time. I had a period where I'd probably be going there every couple of years with work. That's kind of faded away at the moment. But yeah, I would always like to spend time in like the national parks and stuff. So it gives me national park vibes. It gives me national park vibes. Vibes is never a word I would use in the real world. But anyway. And this gives me farm sim vibes. This gives me very much farm sim feelings. I say feels, God. What's up with my brain today? I'll tell you what's up with my brain today. It's very, very tired. Break. It's just screw it. Let's just go, eh? Let's just give her. Although we're not playing Canadian Truck Simulator, we're playing American Truck Simulator, but we'll just give her. Yeah. Let me get out of the urban sprawl. And one of the nice things about doing that's kind of funny. One of the nice things about doing contracting work is we don't seem to have to worry about keeping the truck fueled and repaired and all that stuff, which is good. So I'm running some different mic settings still. If you're not watching, if you're not watching every video that I produce, I'm running some new mic settings at the moment. just to try and deal with some random stuff that I was getting happening that I've been trying to take out in editing, but it's been making editing a nightmare. So yeah, we'll see. I'm trying to resist having to drop another couple £100 on a new microphone, so because you can't make poop sound polished, but I can maybe make it sound a bit better. Yeah, but with the slowdown in the flow of content, there's been a slowdown in the revenue that comes from the flow of content. So yeah, I'm less keen to quickly drop hundreds of pounds on kit. So anywho, that's different matter. So if I sound a little bit different, it's because I'm messing with mic settings, and if you're a nerd, I'm using for the first time, well, I've been using it for the last couple of videos, RTX voice stuff to try and help with how things sound. But the first video that I did with it in, I thought it sounded a little bit overly processed. So I've changed some of the settings for that, and we'll see how it sounds. Anywho, let's get rolling. Probably taking that corner. Oof, that was a little bit tight. Been a while since I've been in the truck, so yeah, driving is maybe a little bit off. So yeah, I woke up this morning. Sounds like the start of a bad blues song, doesn't it? And I had the beginnings of a migraine. So I've been having a slow start to the day. It hasn't developed, which is great, but yeah, the old brain is just running a little bit slow. Yesterday was exhausting, and I don't know why. I was a bit ill over the weekend. I was still feeling a little bit drained from that, and then did a day in the office. It wasn't an overly long day in the office. It wasn't a particularly, I didn't think it was a particularly difficult day in the office, but maybe, you know, when I got home I was absolutely exhausted. And maybe it's just I underestimated how much being ill took out of me over the weekend. It is entirely possible that that was the issue. But yeah, so I'm feeling a little bit fragile today, and we'll see how we go. So one of the reasons there's been a bit of a gap since I got in the truck, because I don't think I recorded any ATS last week, is because I'm trying to drive, let's say, better than I would in Farm Sim when I'm playing ATS. I have to think a little bit when I'm playing. I can't just give her, as I jokingly said. Oh, not that exit. Be the next one, yeah. So I tend to want to be able to concentrate a little bit on what I'm doing, and actually drive somewhat sensibly. And it says as he hammers it round the junction, because I've found, screw it, let's just go, that generally driving aggressively in this game doesn't reward you, and so I tend to, it's a pretty relaxed game to play, but trying to play aggressively just doesn't benefit you at all. You guys know this if you play the game, and so I tend to like to play it when I can be a bit more focused and actually try and drive somewhat sensibly. So yeah, that's why last week when I was away, if you watch my other videos, which most of you probably do, I was away in a hotel for a few nights, and I just kind of sat down and was like, The schedule says make an ATS video, but I don't feel like concentrating enough to be in the cab, which sounds weird because I'm just playing a freaking video game, but you know what I mean. So I didn't, and yeah, it's one of those things where certain games I like to be a bit more with it to play. This is a road to be bringing a wheel loader down, isn't it? God, I'm pretty sure that you wouldn't bring a wheel loader down here. But anywho, we are, so, you know, following me sat nav, governor, honest. We've discovered a recruitment agency. That's useful. We don't have any staff yet, but, you know. Anywho, I don't think we'll do a right on red here. Or maybe we could actually. Yeah, let's give her. Sorry for the. Oh, screw you. Anywho, so we're going left up here. Yeah, so talking about the driving aggressively not helping you. On my other save, I was around the kind of San Francisco, Oakland area, and I was trying to get to a job quickly. Had a really nice, lucrative, long distance tanker haul or gas haul. I can't remember which gas product it was, but on there I've got my own truck and my own gas tanker. And it was a long journey, so it was paying serious amounts of cash, something like $140,000 or something. But I needed to get there quick, and so I was rushing, and I missed a turn. And because it was out on the freeway, suddenly my 30-minute journey to get to a pickup point was 2 hours, and I couldn't get the job. I was like, screw it, I'm just going to do a U-turn, and I couldn't, and it all just went wrong. And you know, the truck got damaged because you're suddenly in a massive pile up, and it's like, screw it. And yeah, it's that kind of rushing just doesn't help you in this game. So hence I tend to try and like to play it when I'm not in a rushing kind of mood. I'm in a chilled out mood, and I'm in the right frame of mind to just want to sit back. That's a nice looking farm, isn't it? That is a nice looking farm. One moment, please, viewer. We're going to use that, I think, as our thumbnail. And no, this is something that most YouTube channels don't do, but I don't consider myself to be most YouTube channels, so you get to see the process of me creating the thumbnail. You'll have seen the thumbnail anyway, so you know, let's not be pretentious about this, shall we? Thumbnails have to be taken for videos, but I think that's kind of cool. It's kind of channel appropriate, so yeah, back to it. I think it's kind of funny that sometimes maybe some folks are kind of sensitive about all that kind of crap, but anyway, I don't know what buttons I just pressed, but have I just turned the truck off? No. Anyway, back to it. So yeah, I completely lost my train of thought there. Anyway, cross country in the US. Well, not cross country particularly, cross state, I guess. One of the things I find really interesting about driving across, so I did it across California. We're not in California, obviously. But so I went from Some seriously dodgy gear changing going on there. Yeah, I went from kind of the desert in California and basically headed west to the coast. And depending on where you do that in California, you go, I started off in the desert. You go through mountainous forests with snow for the time of year that I was there. Then rolling pastures with kind of ranch style farmland. And you end up at the beach where it was just about warm enough to sit on the beach. It was kind of crazy. Because I did the trip with someone from work, and we basically went through. I've been three of us in the car actually. I can't remember, but we basically went through. And it's kind of almost what we're seeing here. We went from the desert where it wasn't like super hot, but warm, shorts weather certainly, through snow and mountains. Views like this, lakes, that kind of rivers. It's a river, not a lake. Let's get cruise control on. There we go. And then like rolling pastures with like ranches with the stereotypical ranch gate entrance stuff. Let's change some gears. I have not got headphones on, so I can't hear when the engine's over revving because of the whole migraine thing earlier. To the beach essentially. For all of the craziness that country has, it has some nice pluses, and its geography is some of that. Yeah. It was a cool road trip. I can't remember why we were doing it. I don't remember why we were doing it, but yeah, it was good. It was good. I can't remember if it was. I don't think it was part of it. So we did I think I might have spoken about it, and I've spoken about it in some videos. I don't know if it's in these. It kind of blew my mind. We were traveling from where we were working in California, kind of not really Southern California, but I'm being intentionally vague about the location of where we were working. And we were going up to San Francisco for the weekend because my boss, who I was traveling with, had never been to that part of the west coast of the US. We had a weekend off, and I kind of have a mild obsession with Alcatraz, or used to. So we took the opportunity to head to San Francisco for the weekend. Did the Alcatraz tour and did a few of the other touristy bits around there. But the bit that I'm getting to eventually was we went around the bottom of one of the mountain ranges and got onto map. Would have been trying to look in Interstate 5. We got onto Interstate 5. And having a map built into the game, and I think it basically said like stay on the road for 5.5 hours. No, what? I don't want that one. It's been so long. I don't remember the key for the lights. I think it might be K, but it's options, keys and buttons. I'm such a good video game creator, aren't I? L or X. Let's just bung all of the lights on and be that annoying guy, shall we? Turn off the main beam. There we go. Right. Let's try and get some speed back up. The speed. Yeah, and that I'm sure I've spoken about it in a farm sim video at least. I don't know if I've spoken about this, but yeah, it's just like join motorway, drive for 5.5 hours, leave motorway. And that was just kind of crazy. Now, in a country that big, it's maybe not that much if you've done road trips in the States. But yeah, coming from little old England, it's quite a long journey. I wonder if they're going to make us pull into the way station here or not. Yep. Darn it, they heard me. So, brake, brake, brake. Shift down a few gears. Go. Bosh. And off we go again. Take that, am I? Oh, yeah. Thank you, sir. Mighty kind of you. You are a true gentleman and a scholar. Much appreciated, buddy. Go. We've got 140 miles to go. So this one is a pretty well-paying job, actually. It was 8 grand, I think. So it's going to add a nice chunk of change to the old bank balance. But I'm kind of enjoying this, just jumping around, doing jobs, making cash. And so I think we'll stick with this for a while. Enjoying the freedom, not being tied down, you know. No commitments, all that stuff. Yeah. Mr. Burns Town. We'll stick with it. Brake. Find a lowish gear. And, we'll get ready to get going. I'm assuming we're heading to quite a small town, so picking up another job might be a challenge. Nice car. We might have to find something in the local-ish area for our next job. We'll see. Looks like a van lifer there, or maybe just a refrigerated van. Been catching up on my Foresty Forest watching lately, although I'm a little bit behind again. I tend to kind of binge watch his content. Yeah. For me, the OG van lifer that I found to watch, and love his content. Mostly because he's a really chilled, genuine guy. He's not a, you know, someone who lived in a van to save money and then became really popular as a YouTuber, rather than someone who's like, I'm going to be a YouTuber, so I'm going to live in a van so I can make YouTube videos. It's like, I need to live in a van to save money. Oh, and look, I can make videos about it. Yeah. I respect the that it was that way around. And yeah, he's a cool guy. He's a very cool guy. Right, out into the remoteness by the looks of it. Bend. So, I listen to quite a lot of post-apocalyptic fiction, as some of you regulars will know. Occasionally talk about that, and quite a lot of it is set in kind of Oregon and the Midwest and this kind of parts of the US. So a lot of these names of towns jump into my brain because they use these towns in a lot of the books that I read, and so they feel familiar to me. I say read, I listen to them on Audible. They feel familiar to me, but I've never been to them. And the versions that I'm familiar with are, you know, not the quote unquote real versions. They are versions from fiction. Let's ease up for this junction because I don't know what it's going to be like. Awesome, no traffic. Yeah, I can't even remember which book. And there's a few actually. There's a few series that have been set heavily in the Oregon area. So it seems quite popular for apocalyptic fiction writers. I'm not sure why. Anyway, equally there is if you're a fan of the world ending and there being less people, and you're from the UK, or you like the idea of books about the UK, there's an author called Devon C. Ford, who easy buddy easy who writes fiction that is mostly based in the UK. His stuff is really good. Depending on your age, actually either way, I recommend first his series called After It Happened, which is not zombies, it's pure apocalypse. So I don't think it's spoiling it by saying virus wipes out most of the population. A kind of classic apocalypse series. It's really good. I think there's 9 or 10 books. It's really good. I really enjoy it. There's a dog in it, so you know, that's a dog, not dogging. Totally different kind of book. But then he also has one called Toy Soldiers, which is zombies, is set in the UK, and if you're of a similar age to me or a little bit older, is set kind of in the right time frame, so you know you'll get a lot of the time references, which is brilliant. You know, talking about curly whirlies and TV shows from our generation, yeah, because the author is, I think, a little bit younger than me, so yeah, it's good. It's good. I wholeheartedly recommend. He has some other kinds of fiction, but those are my two favourites of his. And if you enjoy, you know, the apocalyptic stuff, so Toy Soldiers is zombie apocalyptic fiction, but yeah. Good stuff. It's good stuff. If you spend a lot of time in the car, like I do, wholeheartely, and not sponsored, hashtag not sponsored, I wholeheartely recommend Audible. I've had an Audible subscription for absolutely ages. I should be sponsored by them. And have built up an immense library on there. Yeah, should be sponsored by friggin' Audible. Anyway, my audience is too small for them, probably. Speaking of being sponsored, not really sponsored because I don't make made zero money out of it so far. But if you do want to help me out, then you can click on the link below and consider picking up a rather wonderful beverage from Wraith Energy. They have just updated all of their drinks with a new recipe, which has a really new, the flavors have been improved, the texture has been improved, so it's really like a smoother flavor drink, or texture drink. You can have smoother, but smoother texture drink. I've tried one of the new formulas, and it feels a lot more juice-like. So yeah. Click on the link below, give them a try. Even by clicking on the link, you help me out a little bit, because it shows them that people are interested, and if you do end up buying, then you get a little bit of a discount and I get a little bit of a commission. So yeah, and I need to remember to do all of the things on YouTube to say that I've put that in there. But anyway, and we are almost to our delivery point, so that's pretty cool. Been a nice little drive today, kind of enjoyed it. The thing I love about this game is it is one you can just pick up and play, and not have to worry too much about thinking and planning all that kind of. Particularly, I seem to be able to just talk crap for 30 minutes, which is weird because, you know, sometimes talking for me is really hard. But anywho, I think it's because I can't see any of you. That helps. Right, we are going in here. Let's drop it down a few gears, and because we've only got a single trailer, that means we need to attempt the complicated delivery, I guess. Let's throw the main beams on, shall we? Complicated nighttime delivery could be interesting. See how complicated they want to make it. The experience boost would be nice. Go. Not sure about the speed limit. I'm sure this is a private. I guess private sites do have speed limits, and they do get a little bit upset if you don't abide by them. So, right, let's swing out. Let's slow down for the turn. The house building going on. We need some forward momentum. We need some positive speed would be good. Right. Where do you need it, Governor? Yeah, we can give that a crack. That's just over there. That shouldn't. Famous last words. That shouldn't be too difficult, should it? I'm actually wondering. Oh, I'm going to be cheeky. I'm going to be super cheeky. Smarter, not harder, folks. This is actually quite narrow, but you know. Yes. So difficult to park. Come on. Look. Ah. Nobody look for a moment. Nobody look for a moment. Yeah. Then we turn. Okay, maybe I wasn't so smart. We're not a million miles off already. We're not a million miles off. She's not my truck, so, you know. I think this might end up being harder the way I've done it, but anywho. You know when I said famous last words and all that? You really need the cab to be facing the other way. The back end's in. Good enough for government work? Anyone? Think. Air brakes on the trailer are unhappy, but you know, I'll live. Back end's almost in. That compressing like that's probably not good, is it? Right. We're gonna have another bite at this. Yeah. From there. Awesome. Brake. The other button's brake. There we go. I think we can get this now. I think we can get this. See, the good thing is, the casual viewer won't be watching at this point. It's only those of you that appreciate my awesome driving talents that are still watching. Right, let's straighten her up. We rescue it from here. So badly get confused between brake and reverse doing this. Might be able to rescue it. Austin Powers, anyone? Who said that I had a cunning plan? They were wrong. $1 million point turn later. you imagine if you were the site foreman and you were watching this? This utter buffoon. I mean, I'm not sure why you'd want it reversed into here anyway, because you're never going to get the low loader off of it. Unless it's one that... No, because it's not one that drops the front, is it? Maybe it is. Such a bad job. Such a bad job. Yeah, so close. Yay! Wow. That was a battle, wasn't it? But we are excellent. And bosh. That gives us another point. I'm sure I thought we'd unlocked another hazardous cargo. We will unlock another hazardous cargo. And what jobs do we have available? So we're down in Burns, aren't we? We're in Lakeview, in fact. What have we got coming out of Lakeview? So coming out of Lakeview, we've got some 22,000s or got some big paying jobs up in Montana. Burns got... So we head up into Washington. Not worth paying very much, is it? That's not a bad little job. Some soybeans. Let's do that one. Yeah. Do you want to do that one? I don't know. Or we head down into Nevada with some almonds. It's only $5,000. What do we have coming out of Lakeview? Heading down into Nevada. Or deeper into Oregon. I'm going to take that one. So that's going to be our job for next time, folks. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, wow, it's dark. Click the like. Wow, that's a lot of trailer. Yeah. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, click the like button, and see you next time. Bye for now.